said these things are bring over all the open.
Yeah, that's how we fit down. You're married to better.
That might be
I don't think.
I hear cats and dogs. I'm coming next. I'm going to work on next.
Are you eating cats and dogs?
I hear cats and dogs because I'm coming for them next. Sorry.
What is wrong with her?
I'll tell you what's I'll tell you what's
It was like American politics with no contact.
I call this meeting of South Dakota School Non-Student Association Senate to order. Roll call and approval of proxies.
Arate. Butcher.
Aye.
Camp.
Present.
Mrs. Foster.
Here.
Fernandez.
Here.
Fink.
Present.
Hill.
Here.
Keel. Here. Lander.
Here.
Lewis.
Here.
Masters.
Here.
Moriarty.
Here.
Richards.
Here.
Shock.
Here.
Ascension.
Present.
Seekman.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Stanek.
Here.
Stallman.
Here.
Severson.
Here.
Vostack.
Here.
Malovich.
Here.
Did everyone get a chance to look at the agenda? There weren't any alterations since I sent it out today, so any change to the agenda now? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the agenda say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Agenda approved. Next, approval of minutes. Did everyone get a chance to read the minutes last week? I know that Vice President Lee and I had a couple of edits that were discussed pre-meeting.
They were all made.
They're all made? Perfect. Then with those edits being made, all those in favor of approving the minutes say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Next, we move on to our open floor guests, starting with Dr. Shanif from the Physics Department.
Thank you.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the physics department, and I have 21 slides. I think I will get through them in 10 minutes. I'm going to be going very quickly at the beginning, and then slow down for the parts that I think you guys are more interested in. The first parts will be more pictures. The main thing about our physics department that's unusual compared to other physics departments around the country is our combination of world-leading research and individual attention. This is our faculty. We have 10 full-time faculty and 1 part-time faculty, as well as a wonderful senior secretary. And we've attracted very good faculty basically because of our proximity to the Sanford lab and the ability to do the wonderful research that is there. So we've been able to attract faculty who are both very strong at research and also care and are very good at undergraduate education. SURF includes projects for understanding the nature of neutrinos, trying to detect the dark matter of the universe, and also has an underground particle accelerator in order to understand stars and how they produce all elements heavier than iron. The biggest experiment is the Long Baseline Neutrino facility, or the Deep Underground Neutrino experiment, which will be the largest experiment in the history of the country. We have 3 faculty with leadership roles on this experiment. There's going to do all sorts of cool stuff. Excavation, it's going to be absolutely enormous. Excavation is done. Here's a picture of the excavator underground. Then you can see the same excavator looking absolutely tiny from the far end of the hall. If you get a chance to go underground, take it. This is absolutely mind-blowing. Also has the world's most sensitive detector of dark matter. And as I said, underground particle accelerator, which is one of the few places in the world where undergraduates can help build a particle accelerator, can help operate a particle accelerator. We also have 2 faculty working on an experiment at the Geographic South Pole, the Ice Cube Laboratory, which uses a cubic kilometer of Arctic ice to detect high-energy neutrinos and ultra-high-energy cosmic rays from outer space and beyond our galaxy. All sorts of wonderful research with that as well. And then we have 2 faculty who work on what's known as condensed matter physics, basically working on figuring out how to make designer materials and electronics that can be then used by engineers and everyone else. Our undergraduates take full part in this research. In addition, so this is the required courses for the major. In addition to the fact that we're able to offer many advanced courses that are unusual for a school of our size, the thing that makes us most unusual in terms of the curriculum is we have 4 semesters of guided research with faculty, which is, I think, the main thing that our students love about it. The students are also able to choose program electives from any of 5 tracks, which prepares them well for either further study beyond the bachelor's or going directly into the workforce. All sorts of really cool cutting-edge jobs that are prepared by these elective tracks. As I mentioned, we pride ourselves on our individual attention and family-like atmosphere in the department. We have a relatively small department. We currently have 51 undergraduate physics majors, and so we have better than a 6-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio. We have excellent advising. Mike Dowding is there in the corner, trying to look a little inconspicuous. So he's won both the Aniga 2023 award and the Chad Award in 2024. He's also the advisor for the Society of Physics Students, which is an incredibly effective organization. They've won national awards 9 years in a row. They run monthly socials, which helps us with the whole family-like atmosphere and getting people to know each other in the department. Also do community work, and I'll note that there are as many non-physics majors in the Society of Physics Students as members as there are physics majors, and so all you have to do is like physics or like what we're doing in order to join, and so I encourage people to join. And our program review emphasized the positive family-like atmosphere, saying that students had a high level of satisfaction in both academic and social contexts. We have excellent undergraduate outcomes as well. First of all, our students tend to graduate in 4 years. Over the last 4 years, 19 of 21 students have graduated in less than or equal to 4.5 years. In addition to that, 73% have had paid research or internships while they were here. About half go on to graduate school. We've had 100% placement in graduate school for as long as I've been here. And about half go directly into the workforce. Our average starting salary over the last 5 years is $81,500, which is about $8,000 above the school average and about $20,000 above the national average for physics. We give our students excellent preparation for going into the workforce as well as going on to graduate school. We also have a physics minor, which can be useful for several different majors, giving students a better understanding of the basis of fields as well as different technologies. It is a flexible major. There's 18 credits required with 2 required courses. Then students can choose from a number of different courses for the additional credits. I want to point out one particular course that was first offered just this past spring and received very positive reviews from students, including the recommendation for both physics students and students in other majors to take the course. We have plans to start an astronomy and astrophysics minor as well, which would provide better understanding of space, especially for those wishing to work in aerospace or to perform astronomy, astrophysics, or space research. This is the current plan for that minor. The courses in red would be new, and the Physics 486 still has to be developed, and so that's currently what is delaying our being able to start offering this minor. For other plans, we are considering proposing starting an engineering physics major. We would have to determine how much value this would add over the current possibility of being a physics major on the engineering physics electives track. We are also planning to start offering an introductory class and lab section online. This is something that's required because of the university's commitment to support dual enrolled high school students. And so we are currently researching to identify the best lab platform for a high quality learning environment, which is something we're worried about being able to do up to our standards. In particular, we're worried about this because during the COVID pandemic, we kept having in-person labs. Most other colleges did not. And we took part in a national study, and we got our labs were rated much higher than those of either our peers or across the nation for that, and so we were worried about online labs. But we're hoping to find ones that are actually very good. And then I want to spend the last bit of time on teaching introductory physics, which I think is really the most important service of our department, since it affects essentially every single student on campus. And so during the COVID pandemic, we changed our delivery of what were then both 3 or 4 credit versions of Physics 211, 213, the so-called flipped classroom, with lectures recorded and posted in recitation-style classes synchronously available over Zoom. And during this time, our lectures were significantly more effective than the national average. Again, we did very well compared to other schools in this publication. And so we decided to keep this, but with the recitation classes in person after the pandemic ended. Doing so allows us, basically flipped classroom allows us to have more time with active learning in general, and research has consistently indicated that more active learning results in higher learning gains. And so that's basically the motivation for this. We did initial study ourselves with data that we got of learning gains from before the pandemic here and then after the pandemic here. So this is traditional lectures, and these are the flipped classrooms. And we found improvement both for the 3 credit courses. 3 credit courses are relatively modest improvement, a little bit over 1 standard deviation, about 1.5. Larger improvement for the 4 credit classes, which were new. And we expected those to have a larger improvement. We also have seen a modest actually increase in scores for excellent course on idea surveys for Physics 207. This is, again, before the pandemic. The blue here is for the 3 credit course after the pandemic, and you can see that they are slightly better. The 4 credit course, which is not taught typically in a flipped method, but what I would call semi-traditional, so typically having more active learning than a traditional lecture, but not as much as you would usually have in a flipped classroom, has been getting higher ratings in excellent course than the 3 credit one since then. However, we have seen a significant number of very negative reviews by students who just hate the flipped classroom mode and are not shy about putting it on the surveys. We are working to try to improve this, and so we've been working to improve our teaching within the flipped classroom mode and better explain why we are doing it. Because nationally, we have learned that one of the main shortcomings with flipped classroom is just if students don't buy into it, then there are a lot of students who don't buy into it, don't give it a chance, and then think they hate it without trying it. And so explaining it is something that is supposed to work, and so we're trying to do a better job of that, as well as improving the actual teaching as well. We have had faculty training sessions with the national teaching experts, one online, and Mr. Dowding also went down to UC Boulder, where there's a bunch of experts on this active teaching. And we are continuing to do ongoing peer teaching reviews and SGIDs, which I think you heard in a lot of detail from Dr. Stone in his talk last week from CEE, so I wasn't going to go into detail on that unless you want to ask me. And that's it. Any questions?
Discussion, or I guess one of the questions for 5 minutes. So we'll start that now. Questions? Senator Hill.
I've talked to a large number of people who fall into that second bullet point about the flipped classrooms. And one of the things I hear most often is if the lecture is online and the homework is online and the exam is online, what prevents the class from being an online class?
So participation in person during recitations is what prevents it from being an online class, and we think that participation in person with the recitations is very valuable, and that's something which so I'm not sure whether the nature of the question is suggesting that we switch to making it an entirely online class. And as I mentioned, for the dual enrolled high school students, where we are going to do that's something that we're going to be required to do, and so that might be an option for students who would want that in the future. That hasn't been, the details on that hasn't been worked out. But we expect that students will learn more efficiently being in person with someone who can help them, as well as talking with other students and about the material, which is one of the things to do in active learning in the recitations as well. Does that answer your question?
It's all very interesting to hear.
Okay.
Senator Leonard.
Are non-physics majors currently allowed to take the 4-credit version of physics?
Yes, and in fact, I think over half of the students enrolled in the 4-credit have been non-physics majors. The geology department requires the 4-credit. Chemistry does as well. Geology is larger than chemistry here, so typically most of the students taking it over the last couple of years have been geology students, but we get all kind. There was certainly a period of time where we're getting a large number of mechanical engineers, particularly in Physics 211, that word had spread that the teacher teaching it was greatly appreciated, and so yeah.
Senator Boston.
In your opinion, what sustains academic integrity, and how can you truthfully assess academic integrity when it's a flipped classroom?
So I think the challenges with academic integrity are no harder in a flipped classroom than in a traditional classroom. It's just a question of whether the students, academic integrity would be, not cheating on exams is still the same thing, and students, I think we are doing a good job of preventing students from cheating on exams. So it was something that was probably not true during the pandemic, but I think since then that hasn't been a serious issue. On homework, so for the most part, I think the idea on homework in the introductory course is we want students to learn by doing the homework, and it's totally fine to do the homework with other people. Obviously, it doesn't help a student to just get the answer without knowing what it is and type that in. The fraction of the grade on exams versus on homework probably prevents a student that would be not fulfilling academic integrity from doing well in the course. Certainly, although it certainly can help a student pass, but that's probably something that we can't do very much about, or it's not worth trying to do very much about.
So Larry, still a question?
Just if you were, so I took the 4-credit version as an electrical engineer because I've issues with the registrar, and I actually found it way more helpful. And now I don't know how much involvement you have in other departments making the decisions about which physics to take, but have there ever been discussions? I know I wasn't required to take a lab, but now the DP department is required to take a lab. I think it would have been more helpful to just require everybody to take the 4-credit version without the lab. Are you ever involved in those discussions? Would you say?
Not often. So before we switched to having the 3 and 4 credit versions of the course, we polled all of the departments as to what they wanted in the physics course, how they wanted us to, how many credits they wanted, what material they wanted us to cover, whether they wanted the lab required, sort of everything. And then we chose what to do based on what we got back from that. We haven't been consulted very much from other departments since then.
All right. See if did you have a question?
I don't have my more.
All right, then I'm going to limit discussion here. If you have any more questions, just feel free to email me, and I'll email Dr. Chief those questions for Yeah, so, thank you for coming in. Alright, next up, we have, the Association of Bangladeshi Students. Shakir.
My name is Farhan Hussain. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to discuss the possibilities about forming the club named Association of Bangladeshi Students at South Dakota Mines. So our vision is promoting culture, unity and diversity. So there are many clubs currently in our school, many community-based clubs as well. So why we need this club? So many students actually, many Bangladeshi students actually graduated from the School of Mines in the past years. Currently, many students are also studying here, and many students will be coming in the upcoming years as well. So, but there is no no unique platform for the Bangladeshi students to represent Bangladesh here at the School of Mines. So, this club will be unique in this way that this club will represent Bangladeshi students, our culture, our heritage and customs here at the School of Mines, and and by doing this. So our platform it will be a considered as a common platform for sharing and celebrating the rich Bangladeshi culture, heritage and traditions with the campus community, and we will not want to confine our activities within ourselves only. So we want to express and collaborate with the other campus students, our other campus body, and want to enhance the academic and social experiences within the campus, and also supports Bangladeshi students in their academic and social life at the School of Mines, because students are coming here completely different in a completely different environment. We're studying here, so it's very important the mental support for the students to grow socially and academically at the campus. And our mission is our mission and impact. We want to actually create an impact from 4 sides. So the sides are actually student integration. As I mentioned, that we want to support the existing Bangladeshi students, those who are studying here. So main thing will to integrate that students here and to build a long-lasting connections. And the global perspective, we want to make a cross-cultural dialogues in, with the current Bangladeshi students and also the other domestic students and students from other countries as well. And other than that, not beyond the campus, what we can do, we have planned to create impact among the community as well to encourage the let's say the school-going students, to encourage them to in Bangladeshi culture and also in STEM education as well, so that they can actually get some encouragement to get into this at the School of Mines when they actually try to when they want to get into the university, and also the professional growth. So as I mentioned, that many students, Bangladeshi students, before they are currently in the workforce right now, so you want to build a good professional growth by building a connection with the alumni, and also so that the current students can actually develop themselves for their professional growth as well. So I think you already have some idea about what we as a club want to accomplish here at the School of Mines. But to talk a brief about Bangladesh, our geographical location, the pillars this nation is actually depends on. So Bangladesh, a nation actually born from language and liberation. So the geographically, we actually located in South Asia, bordered by India and Myanmar. Our land area is very limited. Like our land area is actually 3/4 of the land area, total land area of state of South Dakota. So, but in this small land, we are actually 180 million people are actually living peacefully here. So the pillars here are the Bangladesh as a country actually we got our independence in 1917 through a 9 months long armed war, and for that we had to sacrifice 3 million of our people, and December 16 is our victory day. And not only that, before 1971, in 1952 we had to fought for our mother language, to establish Bengali as our mother language, and that sacrifice actually recognized by the UNESCO. So that's why Bengali is actually considered as the international mother language. And 21st February, when that massacre happened, so that day is actually considered as the International Mother Language Day. And we have some specific plans to promote this, the history behind this day, and also to promote the Bengali as a language and our culture and history behind this day to the broader campus community. And other than this, there are some other events here, which one event is Bengali New Year. We are particularly targeting the International Mother Language Day and the Bengali New Year to celebrate together at this at the campus with the campus community. And we have also some other religious festivals, for the Muslims, Eid, Durga Puja, for the Hindus and other cultures, and for the other religions, we celebrated some other religious festivals in Bangladesh as well. And also another festival we have, the Spring Festival, which is actually celebrated on the first day of spring of the Bengali month. So, in summary, the Mother Language Day and the Poila Boishakh, those two events are actually in our focus to celebrate here with the broader campus community. The rest part of the slides will be covered by my friend Ashik.
So basically our plan is to foster a festive culture in South Dakota Mines, showcasing our tradition, music and dance, and incorporating this with the culture of School of Mines and the people of South Dakota. And we also want to share the diverse flavors of Bangladesh through foods and cooking demonstration through our programs. And so as Farhan previously mentioned, our main goal is to promote the International Mother Language Day, so that through this program we are actually planning to have some outreach events with all the high school going students in South Dakota and gather them to understand the importance of mother language. Not only just Bengali language, like each and every language. So that's it. We already give our presentation for the funding to SOAP presentation. So, and basically we are planning to have a program on 21st February if everything goes to as we are planning. And also we want to have an interactive recreation to introduce all the games and sports that are unique to our culture and introduce them in this South Dakota School of Mines. So we already have made up our constitution, and based on we had an election. And so we already have here the executive committee, and Dr. Kaji Khuda, Monju Khuda from CBE actually agreed to act as our faculty advisor. And we currently have actually 23 members studying in School of Mines, and most of them, almost like 21 of them are graduate students. And here if you see, we have students actually all over the departments in School of Mines. So yeah, to conclude, actually through your recognition, the Association of Bangladeshi Students will enhance the South Dakota Mines diverse campus culture by fostering meaningful cross-cultural connection and enriching student experience. And we respectfully seek your approval to establish the Association of Bangladeshi Students as an official student organization of South Dakota Mines.
Questions? I'll have a stipulation again that 5 minutes will be allotted for this time. Questions? Seeing none, thank you for presenting. We have a resolution coming in today for this as well. So, no, thank you. Next on the agenda is serving others unconditional love. Also known as
Sweet. I'll start. Cool. You ready to move?
Great. This is SOAP, Serving Others Unconditional Love. I'm Jake Vosted.
I'm Isaac Peterson.
Okay, who we are stands for Serving Others Unconditional Love. Basically, it's going to be a Christian outreach group that does a lot of service work throughout Rapid City. This is a picture from a year ago when we were not under officially that name, doing a homeless feed. So that's a terrible picture of me drilling. Next slide. The mission for Soul is to follow Jesus, glorify Him through service. We're going to minister physically, emotionally, and spiritually to the destitute, uplift the weak in a meaningful and permanent way, and promote accountability to personal convictions. Next slide. So the motto that we have is to be with and not do for. We'll explain this a little bit where it comes from. But how we got that is basically there's a lot of missions out there, a lot of service opportunities out there that you do something for somebody, a group of people one time, and you leave, you know, and you feel like you did your part, which is true. But the sort of the change with Soul is that we want to be there to cultivate the relationships with people, to really make them, you know, feel important, and to, you know, show that they are worthy of us being there, and that, you know, people are there for them. So sort of the 3 points below that: fulfilling their needs, but building relationships and empowering the weak. That's what we stand for. So instead of doing something that's a one and done, or a go here, go there, and do these different mission outreach, we're planning on having a couple of different outreach opportunities where you can really cultivate that strong relationship with people. Next slide. So our executive board members: I'm the president. Clive or Vice President Lee is also the vice president here. Austin Meyer, who couldn't be here tonight, is the secretary. He's at another meeting. Johnny Hosch is the treasurer. He's sick tonight. And then Isaac is the marketing strategist. Our advisors in the back over there: Dr. Ken Benjamin, great Chem E teacher. Next slide.
All right, yeah, so as of right now, our demographic is mostly juniors. I think that's around 62% juniors. That's how we stand right now. And our goal looking forward is to try to gather a few more people from like other groups, like seniors, sophomores, mostly sophomores and freshmen. We want to do that just for longevity of Soul. Yeah. And then potential community partnerships. We've reached out to a few of these different organizations, and I think we've heard back from most of them. Yep. And we're hoping to partner with them through a bunch of our different outreach events that we'll be doing, which we'll discuss later. Yeah. So right now, Serving Soul, the parent organization, which is from Georgia, it will be funding. As of right now. And then for the people that are wanting to participate and join Soul, I don't know if the $10 is required or if that's like...
Yeah, if they're members, they'll
if
pay
they're
$10.
members.
Anybody's free to volunteer and be part of this club.
Yep.
But if you're wanting to be an official member or higher on the exec board, you know, it's just a $10 due.
Yep.
We see that as a way to show just commitment, you know, of your time and yourself to the club. So.
Yep. And then we'll do fundraising as necessary. For a lot of these events, we may need it. So, and then as of right now, we're doing no SOAP requests for FY 2026.
Yep, and there shouldn't be any supplemental requests either coming in fiscal year 2026. The door is open in the Constitution. If there is a need for a SOAP funding, the Constitution is prepared to do that. But like we said, right now, the parent company, Serving Soul, it started in UGA. They have over 200 members down there. And the CEO of that, it's a nonprofit, and they supply all of the funding to their clubs throughout the nation. So.
Sweet. All right, yeah, so if we're looking forward, we're hoping to recruit a bunch of people from other on-campus ministries, such as Campus Ventures, InterVarsity, Delight, Kingdom Sports, all these other on-campus ministries. And we're also looking outward. We're looking at local churches and maybe just local people around the area that would like to also join. For events, we have a bunch of them planned out. These scheduled volunteering times, that would be where we would partner with other organizations and maybe just like have other events that we have planned by ourselves. Worship events, these will be more of like a casual, like I would say.
Yeah, worship events that we're setting up in the future for some of those groups to like do a joint sort of night of praises and different worships and stuff like that.
Yep. And then Soul Sync, as we discussed yesterday, this would probably be around on Thursday, right before like Campus Ventures and InterVarsity meetings, just so that we can have all those communities join together. And we call it Soul Sync because we want to stay synchronized all together as one community. And then War Room, which is another thing that they had come up with, which is like the officer monthly meetings. Yeah, so those will just be every month. Partnerships, yeah, so we want to promote our growth through the orgs, and yeah, we're going to work through Rapid City on areas needed, and then we're also wanting to partner with churches if possible.
Questions?
Again, that same finance stipulation applies to this. Senator Clausen.
So what sort of outreach do you guys do? Because I know you guys were talking about how you don't want to just be one and done and leave. So what does that entail?
Yep, so if you can go back to the slide with the companies, right there.
Yeah,
So for instance, the Cornerstone Rescue Mission, that'd be like that could be a bi-weekly volunteer opportunity. You'd probably see some of the similar faces coming there getting food. It's sort of like the banquet where I come from in Sioux Falls. They have a banquet. It's like a daily feed, right? The Children's Home Society is a special one. I've been in contact with them, so that's an orphanage or a children's home down near Rockerville. So say like you go there every other week and you play games with them or hang out with them, you can get to know people that way and truly cultivate those valuable relationships. There's one not on here, but also I believe it's called West Hills is the retirement facility. We've thought about doing that with elderly people who are sometimes shut-ins or can't get out much, don't have too many people to talk to. You know, being with them could also be of value to actually get to know them, hear their stories, just give them that relational time that they might not have anymore. One Heart, Love Inc., those are staples for also helping people in need that are dependent, right? Trying to help them get out and be productive and reshape their lives. But while they're with Love Inc. and One Heart, cultivating those relationships, guiding them, helping them, being there for them. So that's sort of the goal.
Senator Leonard.
So just point of clarification. So a part of what we talk about is if it overlaps other clubs. And so the thing that makes you different from InterVarsity and Campus Ventures is your more service-based activities.
Right. Yep, so basically this is a great way that Dr. Benjamin put it, and we talked about this in several meetings. So imagine that all these different Christian outreach or Christian clubs are a tree, right? The entire thing is a tree. And CV and Ivy are more inner-based, inner-focused, more toward campus and devotions and, discipleship, stuff like that. We're just another branch of that tree, but we're more focused toward the service and helping the community. So we'd love to pair up with them and get people going to both, right?
Any more questions? Seeing none. Thank you for coming in. Alright, moving on. Now we go on to our unfinished business. So first, we have the Association of Lake Bangladeshi Students. Or not, that is all new business. Yeah, friendly amendment Constitution, this is all new business. Agenda. Aren't friendly amendment Constitution. This is all new business. Yes. Resolution RCB S 25 S 006. Go ahead and take that.
All right. Yep. Hagan said, Resolution 25S06, originated by the Constitution Committee, presented by myself. Whereas adequate interest has been expressed by students wishing to form an organization, the Association of Bangladeshi Students at South Dakota School of Mines, and whereas there are currently no organizations that overlap this interest, and whereas a constitution has been constructed and reviewed for said club, and therefore be it resolved by a majority vote of the Student Senate and the signature of the Student Association President, and that the Constitution for Association of Bangladeshi Students at South Dakota Mines shall be approved, allowing for formal recognition.
Any discussion on this? I will add a comment that I've heard this through pretty quickly here, just to let the SOAP process especially take place pretty smoothly for all organizations, including this one. So with that, I'll entertain any motions. Doesn't mean we're letting them off from more. Then never mind. We'll see this next week then. Yes, straight back on from there, please. All right. Any other comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, we'll see this next week. Next, we'll have RCW 2025-S007.
Yep. This originated by the Constitution Committee. I guess I'm.
So I can friendly amend that?
Sure. Presented by myself, whereas adequate interest has been expressed by students wishing to form an organization serving others unconditional love or soul, and whereas there are currently no organizations that overlap this interest, and whereas a constitution has been constructed and reviewed for said club, and therefore be it resolved by a majority vote of the student senate and the signature of the student associate president, and the constitution for serving others unconditional love or soul be approved, allowing for whatever the end. Allowing for formal recognition.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Rosset.
Motion to suspend the rules. I say that because we'd like to get passing this as quickly as we can to get funding from the parent organization. We're planning on having a first meeting on February 13th, which would be the day after the next Senate meeting. So I sort of wanted to get some funds into a bank account with, I believe it's
Or somebody else should.
yeah.
Motion to suspend.
Motion to suspend the rule by Senator Lewis, seconded by Senator Stanek. All those in favor of suspending the rule say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. All right, rules are suspended. Senator Lewis.
Motion to approve this club.
Motion to approve this rule by Senator Lewis. Senator Stanek. Second. Seconded by Senator Stanek. Roll call vote.
Butcher.
Aye.
Camp. Aye. Clausen.
Aye.
Fernandez. Aye. Fink.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Keel.
Yes.
Leonard.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Masters. Moriarty. Richards.
Aye.
Schott.
Aye.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Seekman.
Aye.
Smith.
Abstain.
Stanek.
Affirmative.
Stolman.
Aye.
Severson.
Aye.
Vostack. Yumalovich.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Director Headley.
So just real quick, Jacob, you can go ahead and move forward with doing Kara about the account open. Obviously, we don't do private bank accounts, but now it's approved, we can do that.
Okay. All right, moving on to RCW 25S008. Originated by myself and presented by myself. So, resolution number 25S00, friendly amend that to 008, please. That's my bad. Originated by myself, presented by myself. Whereas vacancies exist for the office of senior senator, and whereas the Student Association Constitution provides vacancies to be filled by presidential appointment with approval of 2/3 majority of vote of the Senate, and whereas Anthony Wright and Timothy Wolf have been found by the President and Vice President to be eligible and worthy to represent the senior class, and therefore be it resolved by 2/3 majority vote of the Student Association Senate and the signature of the Student Association President that for the spring 2025 term, Anthony Wright and Timothy Wolf be affirmed to the position of senior senator. Any comments, questions, concerns on this resolution? Senator Hernandez. Motion to suspend the rules by Senator Fernandez. Senator Leonard.
Second.
Seconded by Senator Leonard. All those in favor of suspending the rules say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Rules are suspended. Any further motions? Senator Fink.
Motion to the vote.
Motion to vote by Senator Fink. Senator Leonard.
Second.
Seconded by Senator Leonard. Roll call vote.
Butcher.
Aye.
Camp.
Aye.
Clausen.
Aye.
Fernandez. Aye. Fink.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Leonard.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Masters. Moriarty.
Aye.
Richards.
Aye.
Schott.
Aye.
Sanchez.
Aye.
Seekman.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Stanek.
Aye.
Stolman.
Aye.
Severson. Aye. Vosak. Aye. Yurmalovich.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, Anthony and, or Senator, or Anthony and, Sam, can you please come up here? All right. Now, please raise your right hand, and repeat after me. As a member of the Student Association Senate of the South Coast School of Mines Technology,
As a member of the Student Association Senate.
This is repeat after me.
It gets easier.
I state your name.
I, Anthony Ryan,
Do hereby affirm
do hereby affirm
to uphold the office of Senior Senator,
to hold the office of Senior Senator,
to abide by the Student Association Constitution,
to abide by the Student Association Constitution,
and to represent the Student Association to the best of my ability.
and to represent the Student Association to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. Moving on, now we have resolution 009. Also, where's the forge? All right. Archery, resolution number 25-009, originated by President Archer and Vice President Lee, or myself, Vice President Lee, presented by myself. Whereas the Student Association Constitution states that the Student Association Senate President and Vice President shall appoint senators to serve on standing committees subject to the approval of the Student Association Senate, and therefore be it resolved by a majority vote of the Student Association Senate and the signature of the Student Association President, the following senators be appointed to the respective committees. Senator Wolf, Constitution Committee, and Senator Wright, Finance Committee. Any comments, questions, concerns with this? Seeing none? And any motions? Yes, Senator Fernandez.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules by Senator Fernandez. Senator Smith.
Second.
Seconded by Senator Smith. All those in favor of suspending the rules say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Rules suspended. Senator Fink.
Motion to vote?
Motion to vote by Senator Fink. Senator Fernandez.
Second.
Seconded by Senator Fernandez. That's a roll call vote.
Butcher.
Aye.
Camp.
Aye.
Clausen.
Aye.
Fernandez.
Aye.
Fink.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
Keel.
Aye.
Leonard.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Masters.
Aye.
Moriarty.
Aye.
Richards.
Aye.
Schott.
Aye.
Simpkins.
Aye.
Seekman.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Stanek.
Aye.
Stolman.
Aye.
Severson.
Aye.
Vosak.
Aye.
Wolf. Aye. Wright.
Aye.
Yurmalovich.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Passes. Perfect. All right, moving on now to open discussion. Vice President Lee, I believe you're the first.
So last week, Senator Keel brought up a great point about the fundraising we've been doing on Senate, and I have a mixture of, I guess, good and bad news. But I'll give the story from the beginning. So in the middle of summer, we found out that our budget was much larger than the GAF allocation that we received. And so we went through a couple line items in our budget that we thought would be unnecessary for this administration. And that included some discretionary funds, some traveling funds. A couple salaried members of Senate also decided to pledge some of their salaries back into the pool to kind of relieve the strain on the budget. So with those pledged amounts, we determined that we'd have to fundraise only $2,000. At the end of the day, many more funds were pledged back from salaries, so that fundraise target should have been 1,000. Somehow, somewhere along the way, I communicated the wrong number to the Governmental Relations Committee. I'm not sure how that happened, but I'll take full responsibility for that. And I believe I told Senator Leonard 4,000 at some point. It's not really a bad problem per se, but we do have $2,500 more than we need, and that's in our care account. So it's my apologies for those of you who put hard work into the fundraising. In some ways that was unnecessary, but I'll just present the facts as they are. Going forward though, I mean, we have a couple options we could do with that money. We could just keep it in the care account. We could have a party. We could fund some of our members to go to the Board of Regents meeting. So there are a lot of different options. I mean, we could even give those salaried members back the salaries that they pledged. So I want to open it up for discussion and want to hear what you guys think about this issue. Secretary Garcia?
Real quick for clarification, specifically, you stated we found the budget was to be larger. Did you mean smaller?
You mean like the expenses?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Not bad.
I'll go Senator Clausen first.
Personally, I would say give the people back their salaries and then just put the rest of the money away as like a rainy day. I don't know how much extra we would have after giving that back, but I think that'd be the right thing to do.
Director Headley?
So I think we can talk about that in a leadership meeting. I think we will need to look at your expenses to shed. And maybe we put those expenses to shed. I don't know that there is a way for me to pay salary dollars out of your care account. So we would need to look at the remaining balance. So again, we haven't paid for hotel, we've not paid for vehicle at this point, and so we need to make those shifts. So we should look at that if that's what you decide.
Oh yeah, that's
Can
right.
I just clarify on that? So the salaries have to come out of GAP, and we can pay anything else out of CARA, right?
Correct. And we'll want to make sure if that's what you do, that we've got the funds still in GAP to cover what that was, because there was a shortfall in your GAP budget to cover all of those salaries.
Senator Wright?
Yeah, I think we should reallocate the funds wherever we took cuts. And if those situations are taken care of already, we should allocate those funds to what your Vice President's platform is, which is student engagement mistaken. So we should take these funds as an opportunity to find a way to connect with the student community.
Okay. Senator Sheepman?
I would also suggest that whatever funds would be left after paying off our shed expenses could be used to reimburse the folks who traveled to shed for that meal that we mistakenly thought was going to be reimbursed, that is no longer. So that's an option as well.
Senator Leonard?
I'd like to see as much of these funds saved for a rainy day, because you never know what the future is going to hold. You know, if we're going to have another deficit year or not, and we just don't know what the future holds, and I prefer to have a bit of a cushion in our account instead of having to have people give up their salaries in the future, so we can afford our budget.
Senator Lewis?
I have 2 points I'd like to make. One, from my administration, the salaries given to committee chairs came out to somewhere around the neighborhood of $500. It was not very much. So just to make that point, that it was like $100 a chair for the entire year. And most of the committee members pledged that they would have given it back to Senate if they had the ability to, because it didn't really make that much of a difference. The second point is, when and where is the next Board of Regents meeting? Because I believe that is an important topic to keep in mind.
I can answer that question right now. Second one, the next Board of Regents meeting is in Madison, South Dakota at Dakota State University.
When?
I believe it's in April. I can't remember the exact date, but I believe it's in April. Senator Boston?
I'm not sure if this is a question for you or for CFO. How much do the expenses come to from the pizza ranch? How do you get sure they're going to have to pay?
So, I can answer that as well. I believe out of the 12 people we took, 10 people ended up paying for a meal eating at Pizza Ranch. And yes, the receipts. I instinctively threw away my receipt. So it would probably come out to just under $150. Okay. You look at those?
I can cover that view.
Senator Lawson?
I guess my recommendation would be then, use part of the funds if you wanted to have a student engagement activity or something that would benefit the students, right? That's what we're here to do. But I would also echo Senator Landon's position of saving it for a rainy day, because you never know what type of money we're looking at for next year if the gap isn't increased, what situations may come on the horizon.
And real quick, I'll just add some insight to this. I am part of another organization that did experience a rainy day, and we did have to cut budgets and then ended up fundraising it back. And now that we've experienced that in the near past, we actually do save for a rainy day fund now. All right. Any more? Yes, Senator Boston.
And just a point of clarification, how much have we saved previously for the rainy day fund? Do we have a rainy day fund?
I don't believe, I was referencing another organization I was part of. I don't believe we have a rainy day fund.
Very part of the site.
Director Headley?
Very little.
Very
I
little.
would say in here.
All right. Any other comments, questions, concerns, discussion on this topic?
Sorry.
Director Headley?
I would say historically, like if an initiative came up or we needed extra pieces, but our rollover accounts for GAP, for example, like there has been years where resolutions have come forth, but we need to take care of this, and money was pulled from that account to cover those.
Any other discussion on this topic? Seeing none, any other points of open discussion? Vice President Lee.
I just want to open up discussion on the subject of the bills that we've been tracking. As you hopefully saw, we sent out an email with a legal form survey asking students whether they thought those bills were worth taking a stance on. And I'll let the respective committee chairs cover that as well. But I wanted to note that I did have a phone call with Senator Boyda, who sponsored that bill SB 100 on the topic of campus carry. That bill is being amended to allow only people with enhanced campus carry licenses or permits to carry on campus. I also learned that it is in committee, or it's been scheduled to a committee, has been delegated to committee but has not been scheduled in that committee yet. So I don't expect it to be addressed anytime this week, and probably not next week either.
Senator Lewis.
My question is, should the student senate take a stance on any of these bills, does that mean that exec team plans on sending someone to peer to sponsor the bill or oppose or support the bill when they're shown?
I can take this one. Yes, we are currently considering that. And going back to our previous conversation, that might be another way we use our funds as well. Okay. Any other points, or any other comments, questions, concerns, points for this particular discussion? Seeing none, any other points of open discussion? Senator Seaman?
I'll talk a little bit about what StuFed is working on now while we're on the topic of bills. We had a meeting on Sunday to discuss all relevant bills that we brought forward. There wasn't a crazy amount of discussion. There was a motion brought forward and drafted to oppose Senate Bill 100. Ourselves, President Archer and myself, and some other members of the Federation agreed that we did not feel like we had enough information at that time from our student body to take a affirmative or negative stance. Hence why we are doing the aforementioned survey and stance process.
Senator Larry?
On the bills, the bill, House Bill 1177, which is the one about requiring permission to use legal names versus desired names, is scheduled for hearing on Friday. That's within the education.
Any other points of discussion? Seeing none, we'll move on to our CFO report.
Hello, everybody. As we have had a very busy week. So for Finance Committee, SOAP hearings went very smoothly over the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. And yesterday night, we went over the standards and a few of the SOAP applications for organizations that requested less than $1,000. And we are planning on more oversight over those applications for the next week on Tuesday again and potentially Thursday. Any questions?
Senator Lewis.
I want to add on to that the preliminary ask from SOAP this year is a little over 6% of an increase. So last year's ask before deductions was in the neighborhood of $395,000. This year we're sitting at $420,000 and change before deductions. Last year we deducted about $70,000 off in deductions.
Any other questions for CFO Lockwood? Seeing none, moving on to our Vice President report.
Nothing to report other than what has been already said.
All right, moving on to my report then. So first of all, I want to address that I called Geraldine Roberts and Margaret Smallbrook on Monday and talked to them about icy parking lots. The main points of discussion there were just that in order for those issues to be taken care of, if we see a place that's particularly icy on a regular basis, either report it to me or just go directly to the facilities and tell them, hey, this area is pretty icy, this is being getting complaints from students that it is icy. Geraldine told me this directly. And if you report it to me as well, I'll even call Geraldine and just make sure that she understands that, or Ms. Roberts, sorry, that she understands that just the areas of campus that maybe aren't getting enough attention for that ice. Second of all, faculty on fire. I think we discussed it a little bit today in our executive committee meeting, and I think personally, I would like to see Dr. Tandy, President Tandy, participate in one of these, and I'm pretty sure if we reached out to him, he might be willing to participate, just to get him out to the student body a little bit more. I think now the issue would be, or I guess the next point of action on that would be to find someone else to kind of go up there with him. So that if you have any ideas of who that might be, please bring it to Senator Seekman with PR committee. Senator Seekman.
I nominate you, Joe.
Myself, we tried. Senator Wright.
What is the faculty on fire?
I think the date is still up in the air. Senator Seekman, do you know what Faculty on Fire is?
I said, what is it?
Oh, what is it? Sorry. So have you seen Hollins?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that where we ask faculty different questions. It's a similar structure to that. So that's what Faculty on Fire is. And then last point.
I would nominate Blackville State University president.
I will try to get that is something we talked about too. I'll try to discuss that with our counterparts over at BH. Senator Leonard.
Are we planning on holding this in the ballroom? So here again, we have the Blackville's president versus our president, and we need to hold it in the ballroom here.
Yeah, good idea, Senator Leonard, because it was pretty full last time. Yeah, we would just have to get a food waiver from Sodexo, because we would not be using Sodexo food. And then Senator Rosted, your point, I actually really like that idea, because I can imagine anybody else that we ask here, they might be a little bit uncomfortable, kind of going up against the president. So that's good idea to have BH.
Senator Smith.
This is irrelevant to this. Never mind. Talk about it later.
Senator Smith.
Are we planning on live streaming that again?
Senator Lewis.
I don't have any issue with
that. Yes, I believe President might be doing that. Senator Lewis.
I was just going to say you should hold it up in the gym.
Yeah.
There you go.
Senator Seacon?
That was my point. The ballroom is very much booked out for the entire semester. I've spent the past week trying to book it for other things as well, and it's full. So other campus locations might be a good opportunity.
Senator Basta?
Christensen Hall of Fame question mark.
Senator Pink?
I was just going to comment the Christensen Hall of Fame is still pretty small, but I feel like if we do this against the BH president, we definitely will have some attendance.
All right. Any other comments, questions, concerns that aren't about attendance? Senator
Sorry,
Lewis?
final spitball thing. After a basketball game,
Beach ball already.
That is.
Should be considered.
that's my final statement.
All right. Any other comments, questions, concerns about? Or then I actually want to move on to my last point of my report. I'll make this brief because I don't need to go on about it. So to address the I guess concerns of student engagement with student senate, I have been playing around with the idea informally of restructuring how Senate is and for next year. And possibly looking at doing some major rewrites to the Constitution of Senate. I would like to, I was going to make this probably a responsibility of the Constitution Committee. However, if you'd like to be involved in the process, learn what kind of what plans I've proposed thus far on what this would look like, please come to the office when I'm there. I can go over a more detailed version of what I want to propose. Just basic overview. I want to change the structure to where we have departmental senators instead of just class senators. I want to reduce the amount of class senators we have, and I want to play around with restructuring committees a little bit, but that might be next. So, Senator Lewis.
Distinguished alum of Student Senate, Cody Marshall is against department senators, FYI. This was reviewed years ago.
Okay. I should have asked him about that because I was on the understanding that he was for that. So that is good to know. Senator Wright.
Have you thought about appointing an ad hoc committee for this or creating a committee for this situation?
I assumed that it would go under the provisions of the Constitution Committee. However, if people here feel that that would be an appropriate measure to take, I'd be more than willing to do that. Senator Bostad?
So will there be like collaboration with the new administration coming in that's going to be voted in what, March or April? Was that going to be worked out? Or
Yes.
Okay.
That is the plan. Any other comments, questions, concerns for that? Seeing none, any comments, questions, concerns for my report as a whole? Seeing none, moving on to our international report.
Yeah. So we have the ball rolling with the Cultural Expo. We have the committee set up and we planned our initial meetings. For context, it's a 2-day event sometime at the end of March, beginning of April, where we host around 700 students and guests on campus. And a people.
Right. I'd like to add a point of clarification. I'm going out of order a little bit. I'll just continue with special senator reports and then we'll go back to the class senator reports. Moving on to our veteran report.
Suggestions from the veterans continue to be numerous and vulgar. However, the first round of exams prevents whinging of consequence. So, good job.
Any comments, questions, concerns for Senator Hill? Seeing none, moving on to our non-traditional, or graduate report, sorry.
Many thanks to the president for attempting to skip me again. Apologies for not being here last week. My report revolves around probably what the food committee might have discussed last week. Food service committee, if it was discussed at all.
We did not talk about the graduate issue.
Cool. So grad students are upset about meal plans on campus. We have a couple of graduate students that are living on campus and not in the Rocker Square apartments. And the current structure of the contract with Sodexo does not allow you to buy the Rocker Square Flex, essentially minimal flex only plan, and forces you into a freshman or sophomore meal plan if you have to be living in any of those buildings. So we have graduate students that got forced into like a Hard Rocker 75 meal plan, and they weren't given a flex option. So I reached out to Barb Mustard about it. The conversation has since been elevated to the Board of Regents level. So there's potentially discussion for changing around meal plan offerings. And then in digging further, we found that there was actually supposed to be a discussion after the first year of Sodexo's contract to possibly rearrange meal plan offerings that never occurred.
Senator Leonard or anyone on the Food Service Committee, would you be willing to look into that a little bit further and possibly have a discussion? Yes, Senator Leonard?
The Food Services Committee has now set up a regular meeting, so we will stay on top of this topic.
Okay, perfect. All right. Any other points of discussion or any other questions, comments, concerns for Senator Lewis? Seeing none, moving on to our non-traditional Senator report.
No reports this week.
No report? All right. Moving on to our class Senator reports. I apologize for being out of order, starting with our freshman with Senator Ascensions.
Okay, light complaints this time around. Just exam dates. Teachers are giving tests 2 to 3 weeks after they stop teaching the content. I don't know if there's a formal complaint process for that, but students are saying, students are saying that it makes them just relearn the topic again. The dorms, especially Peterson Hall, half the laundry machines are out of order and showers are dripping to the level below it. In the survey, they took away the waffle machines. Many people are angry about that. And with Valentine's Day coming up, many young men especially are angry about the lack of women.
Any comments, questions, concerns?
I do have a comment.
Yes, Secretary Garcia.
Have you thought about directing those angry young men to possibly be tutors for the BH students?
I will make it known.
All right, Senator Mossad.
Is there a shuttle program yet from BH?
All right. Any other productive comments, questions? Seeing none, All right. Seeing none, moving on to our sophomore reports presented by Senator Richards.
Yeah, I also had complaints about the wall predictor. That is a common issue. And then one student asked me, what's up with the wind turbine? Why isn't it work? Why isn't it operating? And I know the answer to that, so.
Could you please restate that?
The wind turbine we popped it on campus. What's up with that?
Senator Boston.
So as it was explained to me, basically this company offered us this wind turbine for basically, I don't know, either very cheap or free. And we set it up and it was great. And then like a year or however long later, suddenly it's went on the fritz and all the parts for it are like specific to the windmill. And then when we looked back into it, apparently that company had like gone bankrupt. So they were just trying to like, you know, give us some stuff, get a tax write-off, unload their crap, and get out of there. So now it just sits there, we have no way to repair it.
Damn, we gotta find an engineering school.
Senator Wright.
I'll just note that that turbine has been there well before 2014, just so you know.
Senator Rostad.
Are there plans for like maybe Greek council to remove it with their guys?
I can't really speak on that. Any other comments, questions, concerns for Senator Richard or on this point of discussion? Seeing none, moving on to our junior reports. Senator Stolman, I believe you have a presentation for us.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. I know we've been here for an hour plus.
Clicker up here too if you were.
Yeah. But for those of you who are not familiar with me, I'm Chase Stolman, junior mechanical aero engineer, member of the men's soccer team. And the big reason of why I joined Senate was to be an active voice for the student athletes on campus. I believe the student athletes are essential to a thriving culture on any campus, especially ours, being a STEM school. And so what I did, I just sent a brief survey out to the fellow junior student athletes, just asking very broad questions, open-ended, just to get some general idea of where they all stand, so then I can go move forward and try to help them out as much as I can. Basically just what I just said. It was completely anonymous, asked about academic and athletic opinions and issues. And as I said, just to get a general idea of satisfaction and fulfillment with respective departments, including administration and coaching. This is part of an ongoing process I have with the athletic director. I know he's scheduled to come in and speak, I believe in 2 weeks. And I'm working with him on this to try to get kind of the ball rolling, try to get the experience more vocalized if nothing else, and then hopefully results will follow. So just general results, respondents show a general satisfaction with their academic departments and the athletic department as a whole. Speaking as a student athlete, I spend almost 20-30 hours a week on top of school doing my sport, so I don't have a life. So that balance, dependent on student, it's difficult to find, but I can speak from experience, it's very rewarding once you do find it. Most athletes feel they will be prepared academically and athletically when they graduate from South Dakota Mines. I think is an important piece that we aren't just athletes, we're just as much students as everyone else, and we also need to be prepared just as much as everyone else is. People will always complain about parking. I'm surprised at the number of comments who mentioned that to me, considering I didn't even ask about it. But, you know, it is what it is. And then a big piece that I found, resources specifically for student athletes can be improved over time. That's not something that we can just snap our fingers and fix. That's something that will take place probably well after I graduate. I just want to share 3 quick questions that I took particular note of. The quality of athletic trainers and strength and conditioning coaches. There's been a lot of turmoil, especially with the strength and conditioning coaches since I've been here. I'm on my 4th coach and I've only been here for 4 semesters. So take that for 5, close enough. And I can specifically speak to this one as well. For those of you who didn't know, I tore my ACL meniscus over the summer, and I've been working extensively with the athletic training staff, and I am cleared next week, which is 6 months. Very unheard of timing, and I can truly say that that has been such a positive impact in my life, and it shows that across the board, we're moving in the right direction. Kind of a similar story here, the inner community within the student athletes and the support from their friends and athletic departments, generally very good as well. Something, of course, I'd like to see improved, but I like where we are and it's a good platform to continue growth. And then this is the one that I kind of had a fault with, student athletes and the relationship with mental health. As a student athlete, I can definitely say I have had some pretty terrible days. And that's not just, to me, I mean, all of us have terrible days. But when you have the pressure to perform at the level that we're asked to, on top of all the demands of school that are already stressful enough, mental health should not be something to be looked over. And so I'm thankful that we have student athletes who are doing great, but we still have some that feel they're not, and I want to see if we can get them back on track, get them thriving, and make them part of what I think really makes this school great. And that is something I will also continue to work with at a personal level, not just with counseling, but with the athletic department as well, try to get that moving forward. Just some additional comments, nothing crazy, again, parking to no one's surprise, but other than that, everything I've already touched on. Any questions?
So on the topic of mental health, do athletes go to their own kind of counselors within athletics, or do they go to the counseling department?
So the counseling, this is new this year actually. The counseling department has instated, she's an intern, but she works specifically with the athletes. And that has been a major improvement over previous years. I don't have any raw data from previous years, but that has been huge, and I know that that is something that not just the counseling department, but also the athletic department would like to continue to carry forward and make a full-time position and make that an integral part of success.
Senator Ray?
Correct me if I'm wrong, any senator who has the knowledge. but South Dakota is one of the only states where scholarships for athletes are not allowed to be funded through state funds or through GAP funds. And so most of the scholarships that are given to athletes at school of mines are usually from donors. Does anybody know that's true?
Yes, I can confirm that. That is accurate. I believe all our athletic scholarships are actually donor-based.
Any other comments, questions, concerns? Senator Pink?
Have you considered opening this survey up to the other classes?
Yes, so I have a brief meeting with, or hopefully not brief, but a meeting with the AD scheduled this Friday, going over this exact thing, and then I'll look to get that sent across the campus, get a bigger poll so that we can do more of that data.
So, as you mentioned, a lot of different people complain about parking. Are the complaints specific to like getting close to the gym, or is there like any specific details on that?
No, which I find hilarious because we have a parking pass right next to the gym, so I don't know what's up. I don't know if we're just lazy and don't want to get up at 6 and have a free parking spot. I don't know exactly what that is. But no, I will definitely look more into that as time goes on.
Senator Roll.
From what I've heard from the cross-country team specifically, I think there might be a little bit of an overhang with the junior class on that, because the parking situation before we rolled out the orange-green system had an extremely bad reputation. And the younger classes seem to not have as much of an issue with the parking system. I've also seen that people tend to say that the new system is an improvement, but the junior class especially, I think, still has some residual frustration with that.
Any other comments, questions, concerns? Seeing none, thank you. Alright, moving on to our senior report from Senator Seekman.
Well, I'll tell you right now, it's nowhere near as good as that. I spoke with some seniors, both in conversation and passing. Most of them were excited that the career fair is here. They were anxiously awaiting positions in industry and further education opportunities that are coming through. They expressed frustration with the iciness of parking lots in specifics, which is not new. And they also expressed frustration that the order of the engineer initiation fee was only accepted in cash. I don't know if that's something that can be changed at all, but they expressed that they wish there was a alternative option. And a report.
I don't know. We can talk to the administration about that if we need be. So, yeah, President's office. Okay. Moving on. Any comments, questions, concerns for Senator Seekman? Dean Lewis.
Do you think, Senator Seekman, that an option of just to put the fee on the student's bill would be appropriate?
I think so. Yeah, like I heard people they were scrambling and didn't have cash, and luckily they were able to get some from a friend. And you know, most of us don't carry cash around because we don't need to when we're on campus because we have our ID and our mobile phone wallet. So yeah, that could be an option.
Alright. Any other comments, questions, concerns for Senator Seekman? Seeing none, moving on to our committee reports, starting with Constitution Committee.
Thank you for listening to the two presentations today and for being so quickly. And your report.
Any comments, questions, concerns for Constitution Committee? Seeing none, moving on to our Public Relations Committee.
Working on advertising our new survey as well as vice president and presidential elections, or nominations rather. And report.
Alright. Any comments, questions, concerns for Public Relations Committee? Seeing none, moving on to our Government Relations Committee.
Yeah, continuing to work on the presidential elections. We'll be tabling in the library next Tuesday for 3 hours. We are done with general fundraising. We'll continue to do pantry rest fundraisers because they take very limited requirement and it never hurts to raise more money in my opinion. But we're looking to do a Senate bonding event in March. We'll probably do potluck desserts. I'll get an exact date for that, but keep in mind what desserts you might want to bring. And we'll, yeah, that's all we got.
Right. Any comments, questions, concerns for Government Relations Committee? Seeing none, moving on to Student Affairs Committee.
Alright, well, first of all, I'd like to shout out Maddie, who really helped me out this week and basically did my job as student affairs, but we did get that bill survey out. I'm sure most of you saw that in your email. There was a little confusion with there, but overall we got kind of the results that we wanted. But we're still kind of waiting for more results to come in. It's looking good. We got a lot of feedback so far. We will be tabling in Lower Serve tomorrow. If we can get any volunteers or help for that. What time?
12 to 2.
Alright, and that'd be the end of my report.
Senator Seekman?
One more note, we do have a follow-up email to clarify on the confusion of the initial survey, just to go out.
Senator Leonard?
GR combined with SA will be holding a forum on Friday at 5 p.m. to help explain what the bills are, answer any questions, and take opinions from the student body.
Senator Rosted?
This question will be out of order. There is a GR committee meeting tonight. Okay.
Right. Any other comments, questions, concerns for Government Relations Committee? Or Student Affairs Committee? Sorry. Student Affairs Committee. Seeing none, moving on to our campus ad hoc reports. Senator Leonard.
Like I said, for food services, he's now going to regularly meet. We have a rough draft of a Google form, or not Google, a Microsoft form, which are actually kind of annoying to use, but we made them. Done up, so we're going to get some feedback from food services and hopefully put that out next Wednesday. A big part of what that revolves around is grilled as a minor chef, and the fact that they get so few orders, and what marketing we can do with them, so I can hire a person to actually monitor that, as well as taking in complaints or positive notes. We did ask them to serve orange chicken more often, and I would like to say I've now had orange chicken twice more this week.
Alright. Any comments, questions, concerns for yes, Senator Lewis?
Just to add on to that, a comment that the director of food services at Sodexo said was, if there becomes enough demand at the grill, they will hire another person to work the grill full time. So currently it's just the job of the person that's also making grilled cheese and burger patties on the other side that also monitor the grill, which is why sometimes they don't answer the beetle when it rings. So.
I would also say this, and the Food Service Committee can reiterate this, if there are other options and things you want to see in the minor chef, please get that to the Food Service Committee. I've recommended things, but I think it needs to come from the students, of things coming there, that hopefully having those lockers and things that they can do, if there's more options, that will also increase business hopefully.
Right. Any other comments, questions, concerns for Food Service Committee? Seeing none, moving on to upcoming Senate business. Besides faculty on fire, anything else for upcoming Senate business? Seeing nothing, moving on to our announcements. Any announcements? Let's start with Emily.
Real quick, we've decided that Grubby's birthday this year will be Saturday. So during halftime, it's every year. Don't ask me how old he is, I don't know. But during halftime of the men's basketball game, there will be a free cake at the game. So we encourage you to support the Hard Rocker basketball team and have cake.
I was under the understanding that it was this past Saturday. Senator Leonard.
Free Class did make cake. We would like to see a picture of it last Saturday.
Nice. Well, he deserves a double celebration.
All right. Then I'll entertain any motions. Senator Bostad. Motion to adjourn by Senator Bostad. Senator Lewis. Seconded by Senator Lewis. All those in favor of adjournment say aye. Aye. All those opposed say aye.